Yeah. So I like thinking about interactivity in multiple ways. Yes, like manipulating things on screen. I think that definitely counts as interactive. In what about as far as like communication, interactivity along those?
Yeah, because teacher can talk to the students, students can talk back to the teacher, students can talk to the students. Kind of like how you're doing with us. You're interacting with us, asking questions, and we're responding. And we're responding not just paper and pencil, we're responding online. We're responding using notes. It's kind of like what we do in the real world, but we're actually putting it on a online method.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and
I just feel that at least for me, I can do the whole. I need for you to write this. Go ahead and write this down, and they'll return it to me. This part right here is hard when you have 20 students in a classroom. Miss, you want me to click where? So you want me to go where, Miss? To
I think you might have broke up a little bit, or maybe it's
interact because I want to do more of this because I'm running.
I think that's where it comes to like making it usable for the students and easy for them to follow.
yeah.
But the interactivity, I think, is, you know, making sure that the kids have, like she was saying, you know, making sure that the kids have time to, you know, to make it as close to the real world as possible, I guess.
So
Yeah, things that they already know how to do. They already know how to pick up a pencil. They already know how to look at something with letters and information. I'm gonna do it from a kinder perspective. They know how to sit down. They know how to get a pencil. They know how to get a paper. They know there's gonna be something on there. They may not understand quite exactly what's on there, but that's our job to help them. But they also know they can take what's in their little brains and put something down and try to correspond and communicate with me. So I think with the basic foundation, I think this addresses all the basic foundation for all content areas, but the rigor and the more expertise and knowledge we have, the better this is going to look to us.
Speaking of rigor, I'd like to ask y'all one final question before we move on from this activity. How would y'all alter what I just did here to make this, like, to take this to the next level?
Would that depend on? Well, I can see your point, yeah, because you can do DOK 4 questions with kindergartners. It just fits them.
I was thinking about using the a platform like this Jamboard thing for exit tickets for my students.
So yeah, exit ticket. That'd be, I mean, that's exactly what we used to do, right? Stick the notes on the.
Yeah, so and one thing that he suggested was using Padlet. I didn't know about this, okay, but I like this. Using Padlet or something like this to do the exit tickets with. So that was a suggestion he made.
Do you mind me asking what grade you're in?
I'm high school.
Oh, okay.
9th and 10th.
Let me check the chat out. I want to see if anybody.
Yeah, I like that idea. I've been having a hard time figuring out what to do for exit tickets. And I've tried like the forums and stuff like that, but it takes so much time. This seems like a quick, easy, and then they can you know, interact with each other by putting checks, just like we did, make kind of like an interactive thing. I don't know. I just like this idea. I think I'm gonna try it.
There's some amazing ideas inside of the chat that I'd just like to point out. Miss Nidia Martinez said making some quick little flipped videos to help explain some of the process. Send those out before. I love that idea. And that's a big element of blended learning there, or one model that you can use to pre-record, send it out. That way in class, you're not having to teach that, as, you know, or it reduces the amount of time that you have to spend on it. I love that. I love Mr. Green's comment about having to categorize the post-it notes, explain their rationale. That to me, you know, when that's going to help take it to the next level. Ms. Abundi, adding sentence stems using DOK levels, image support, and maybe asking critical questions to one another to elaborate thinking. I love that. So now it's not me asking the question. Maybe the students are posting questions and having the other students answer them. That's awesome. And then like a simple one that I was thinking of right now too, that I don't know why I didn't think of this, but I could have set this up to say, you know, maybe I set up 5 pages here, and then I'm having like virtual groups work together, right? So maybe I group up some kids together and I say, all right, y'all are gonna take slide 1. I want all of y'all's thoughts here on slide 1. This second group, you're gonna have this page. Group number 3, this is your page. So that would be like a real easy way to kind of set up some group space and some group thinking to be happening. All right. I hope y'all liked that activity. Let's go ahead and take it back into the Zoom window. Y'all can still see, I'm still sharing my screen, right? Oh no, I'm not. I just realized I wasn't sharing my screen that entire time.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
Oh yeah?
Uh-huh.
Y'all
You
see
were.
it?
Yes, you are.
You're
Okay.
moving your cursor now. You're moving it around to slide 3, right?
I'm going to slide 4 now. Did y'all see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I got scared there for a second. Thanks.
Ah,
I really appreciate all of that interaction, y'all. That was awesome. Let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do today. We're going to be looking at Canvas Studio, and actually more than that. Canvas Studio is the tech tool, but I hope that we do a couple of things today. Number one, I'm hoping that at the end of the session, you're going to see how we can more easily incorporate video to improve our online learning experience for students. Number two, I want us to also see how we can start trying to generate some online discussion around video. I also want you to see and to learn how to assess learning and provide feedback with video. And then finally, just taking what we've learned and thinking about how we can create some extension or even student choice activities with video. Okay, so what is Canvas Studio? What you're going to see today is that it's one of the tools that we have access to inside of Canvas. And what does it let me do? Well, I can record my own videos. I can import videos from YouTube. I can add captions to my videos. I can add questions to my videos. I can enable like a comment thread. There's a lot that can be done with it. And if y'all are familiar, or y'all took that Edpuzzle training with us in the spring, some of the features are pretty much the same. So it's even nicer now that it's just all a part of Canvas, built right in, one of the tools that we have access to. In addition to learning how to use that tool, we're also going to take a look at how video can be used to engage and assess, right? Like it's also a little bit more about like why we want to do that. So let's go ahead and get started here. I got a first question is why even video in the first place? Well, in an article that we were exploring, it's called 10 Strategies for Online Learning that comes from Iste. Iste is the International Standards for Technology and Education. All of the Texas technology TEKs they're derived from Iste. So they're definitely worth taking a look at. And even a lot of the online learning that we're doing right now, students are getting to learn those skills. You're right on the right path with your students here. Some of the key recommendations from this article that I'd like to point out with y'all. Number one, they were talking about how important it is to break online learning into smaller chunks. One of the implications I'm thinking of when we think about smaller chunks is shorter videos, right? Instead of me posting 30, 40, 50-minute video, is the audio doing okay? I keep hearing little glitches and things like that.
You going in and out.
In and out.
good.
Okay. So breaking learning into smaller chunks. Instead of giant long videos, maybe we have shorter little segments. Okay, and I've been thinking a lot about this, especially because TikTok is all in the news right now. And kids love TikTok, and these like super short little videos. They keep going, keep going, keep going, right? So I really just can't imagine students wanting to watch 30, 40, 50-minute videos, right? So something to think about that we can do with videos, keep them nice and short. Number two, they mentioned providing immediate feedback, okay? In Canvas, we can post videos and allow students to comment along the timeline of the video. This is gonna be an opportunity for us to take a look at that, provide feedback, and this is formative assessment, right? That's what we're checking to see if the students are learning as we go throughout the lesson in an online format. Now, number three, they said, include virtual meetings, live chats, video tutorials to maintain a human connection. So yes, I believe there should be videos of you inside of your Canvas lesson. I strongly believe that. I think that number one, that's just gonna help the students connect to you and connect to the information. When I see a whole bunch of text on a page, this is me personally, I instantly feel like it's a lot sometimes, right? We need to see images, we need to see people. Video is like a great way to connect with our students. In addition to that, I think that we can strategically use video to build in pieces of the lesson cycle, right? Like in the beginning, when I'm hooking my students into a lesson, I want to record myself asking a question, and I want to see what my students are going to say. You know, I might use it as a way later on, video, to have the students record video and share with one another to get some of that collaboration happening within a lesson. If you'd like to learn more about this article, I would encourage you to check this out, 10 Strategies for Online Learning. On slide number 7 here, this is just something I've been thinking a lot about also as well. I want you to think about when we do record our videos, if you're recording teacher-paced videos, I'd like to think of those as synchronous. But I don't know that teacher-paced videos necessarily equates to student-paced learning. It's just something I want us to think about today as we learn how to kind of like chunk it and use sporadically throughout a lesson, okay? Slide number 8. These are some tips I wanted to include about just some ideas that we need to think about. You know, again, I want to emphasize we all just started this. We're all learning. But now that we have some ideas of how Canvas works, it's time for us to take a look at like how we can help our students really navigate that space better. So we talked about 4 pieces here. Number 1, course navigation. Does it make sense? Can I easily find where things are? My resources, my syllabus, my calendar. The assignments have due dates. The contact information is there. Yes. Is it accessible? Can students get language support, reading support? Clear directions on what's supposed to happen with the lesson. Is the learning active? Are there activities that are student driven? Do they include communication, feedback? Is there technology integration in the lesson? And then digital lesson design support. What we mean by that is that if you're working in opportunities to engage, to model, to have students research, to apply their learning, to share it out with each other, to think about the lesson, we all aspire to incorporate those things face to face. What exactly does that look like in Canvas or online? When maybe sometimes I have a student show up to a Zoom, maybe sometimes I don't see them that day. But if they go onto Canvas, I'd love for them to still be able to get that information instead of coming back to class the next day, missing out what happened on Monday, right? If I can put all of those pieces of the lesson cycle in there and the students are able to access it navigate to it and engage with it, it's going to help. I believe it will help. Now, I really want to highlight this link right here. It says View SAISD Course Design and User Experience Guide. This is something we've been working on. Let's see. And I'm hoping you can kind of take a peek. There's a lot of stuff there, but we tried to explain it in a way where it wasn't too complicated. So when I talk about course navigation, that sounds kind of nerdy and techie, but what exactly does that mean? Well, we might be talking about course structure. Well, what is course structure? Like, here's some questions. How do I know what to do first when I go into your Canvas? Do I click on the modules? Do I click on assignment? Do I click on announcements, right? Are things always...
Mr. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but can you make it larger?
Yes.
I can't see it very well, please.
Yeah, thank you for asking. Try that. So just all it has is like the main considerations when thinking about how do I make my course not easily navigatable, and then some questions for you to look at, right? So let me scroll a little bit. Here's accessibility, text features such as using headings, the size of the text, the colors that you use. Is there support for me to be able to translate this content? Is there support if I need, is there directions for how I get reading support? Are there clear directions for the assignment? Early on, I was just saying, here's a link, or here's like a Google slide, and then no directions on what my teachers were supposed to do with that information.
Can you repeat that? Because you dropped out.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking about how important it is to really have clear directions included in your courses. Because early on, I would just put a Google slide there on an assignment in Canvas with no explanation whatsoever. I think we have to think about the students and what it's like for them to use our Canvas course when nobody's there. A parent may not be there. I may not be there. Can they look at the course and figure out what they're supposed to do? Because as we move more towards remote learning, hybrid learning, blended learning, we really need to take advantage of technology. Technology is gonna be what allows us to duplicate ourselves. Even if we were 100% face-to-face and you want to do station work, technology is going to be a great way to help us do that. And if I could record some directions in for a station for them to go watch it and give them the tools that they need to work on their piece of the lesson, it's going to help me differentiate and individualize for my students. So this guide is just some questions for you to think about as we continue building our skills with online learning, blended learning, all of those things. I don't want to spend...
Mr. Gonzalez,
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
What you're saying, like recording ourselves, giving directions, how does that differ from Seesaw? Because when I go into Seesaw and I can scan on my computer a sheet, and then I go in, I click the record button, and I record what the directions are and what I want to do, then I post it. Mm-hmm. Then I put it into the activity board. They go in, they click on the activity, and then they click the play button. So how is that technology in Seesaw beneficial in Canvas, or are they both the same, that just one's more user-friendly?
I think that's a really good question. I would ask you, how in Seesaw would you build out a lesson to engage, model, direct teach, have the students research, apply their learning, share with one another, and reflect? Is it possible to do those things? Yes, I would say a lot of that you can.
Right.
I see the tool Seesaw as really, like, you use the word activities a lot. And that's kind of how I see Seesaw. It's like the student goes there to turn in and interact and do activities. It's a portfolio.
Oh, I see the difference you're saying now. Okay.
Yeah. And this is our learning management system where it's going to have the resources for our students. It's going to have, you know, all of the components of a real face-to-face lesson could happen inside of Canvas, from the engagement to the assessment to the opportunities for them to collaborate with one another, all of those pieces. I think that Canvas is an actual LMS, a learning management system, and Seesaw is more of it's a journal, an interactive journal.
Okay, I see the difference now. Okay, thank you.
No, that's a great question. Great question. All right. So how can we better incorporate video? That's the big question for today. What I'd like for y'all to do is take a look at a module that I built. So the whole idea of this module was that I wanted to try to work in video, but have it be, you know, still use elements of an actual lesson cycle. So let's see. I'm going to show you this actual module now. Let me go into my modules. And today you're going to learn a little bit about fear. I decided to build my lesson about fear and anxiety. Okay. So this is what I have. Here's my unit on fear. And then these are the little pieces that I threw in, the activities. So what I'm going to do is work my way through them now and just kind of show you what I did. I just want you to see the big picture of what I was thinking, right? Okay. So this first one, let's see. Looks like it's loading up very slowly, y'all, and I apologize for that. And by the way, as we look at these, here's some directions for y'all. Write down notes on me. Y'all take some observation and notes. As we look at each of these pieces, I want you to take notes of what you think I did that supports students in terms of either visual design, like how it looks, or lesson design, like the actual things I did to help in the learning cycle, right? Just take some notes on what you think I did okay on. Also, feel free to write down any elements of what I did that you would enhance or alter or do something differently, because I do want that feedback. Okay, so the first part of the lesson, I have a little video and I'm going to play that for you now. Hey students, this is Mr. Gonzalez. Today we're going to be talking about fear. Now everybody is afraid of something. Even think of the toughest person you can think of, they're probably afraid of something, right? Now there's a reason why all of us have fear and why humans started to feel this. In this lesson, we're going to explore that and why we have different types of fears. But before we explore that, I want you to answer the question below. Okay, so the question is, how would life be different if humans had no fear? Like if that's just some emotion we didn't even feel. What would be the pros and cons of fear? Why is it good that we have fear? What are some of the negatives of fear? So I posted this inside of a discussion in Canvas. And the way that discussions work is that my students would click reply here. Rich content editor comes up and they can, of course, type their answer here. Or students could go to record if I want to see an audio response or a video response. Okay, that's just the first piece of the lesson here. All right. I'm going to click next to take you to the next part of this lesson. All right. So this one's called Why Am I Afraid? Experiencing fear and anxiety may not be pleasant, but both are important emotions that drive human evolution. Let me go ahead and play these directions. Hey students, for this lesson, what you're going to do is you're going to watch the video below. Watch it one time entirely from beginning to end. Be sure to pay attention to two things, your wow and your what. Your wow is going to be something that you're really impressed with that you learned. The what is going to be something that you have a question about. So as you go back and watch the video the second time, what I want you to do is to leave two different comments in the video, your what and your wow.
If you have any questions about the assignment, be sure to reach out to me through email.
Okay, so I'm using a strategy called Wow and What. Here's a YouTube video that I want my students to watch. I'm gonna play this video, just a little bit of the video for you. And when you hear a wow, something you think that is a nice little learning tidbit, tell me in the chat. If you hear a what, like you wanna know more about something, tell me in the chat, and then I'll add your comment to this video. So let me make sure I have the chat open. And then I'm gonna play this video now so y'all can learn a little bit.
The heart races. Deep breaths are hard to find. Blood rushes through the body. That's fear, anxiety.
Scientifically, we tend to talk about fear as being a response to immediate threats, which is right there in front of us. Anxiety is where there's the possibility of danger, but it's kind of looming on the horizon, and we're trying to work out how probable is it, how bad might it be, what can we do to avoid it.
Think of a lion right in front of you. That's an immediate threat. Looming in the distance, not as scary, but still something to be worried about.
Evolutionarily, think about the hypervigilance that goes along with anxiety as a very adaptive trait.
Because a long time ago, the world was super dangerous, and humans needed to use that hypervigilance as a way to evolve. It all starts here, specifically in this region.
Our amygdala is kind of flashing away, saying there's something dangerous.
All right, I see a wow from R. Garcia 7. Wow, difference between fear and anxiety. So as a student, remember I said to my students they would watch the whole video one time and then come back and look for their wow and whats. But what I want them to do is come in here and I'm gonna add in your comment, R. Garcia. See if I can just copy it and paste it in here. So I'm just gonna say R. Garcia said this, since you're not in my Canvas course. And I'm gonna look at this, it says comment at 113. So now what's gonna happen is that as my students add these comments along the timeline, you're gonna see all these little dots appear because the students are commenting at specific moments of these videos. And these comments are added therein too, so there could be an opportunity for me to, as another student, to come back and reply to that and say, you know, oh, I noticed this too. Maybe, again, to bring in that idea of, that y'all mentioned earlier, to have students now asking each other questions about this. I see Mr. Green, he says, what is the impact on the body of long-term anxiety? I think that's a fantastic question. What is the impact? But y'all get the idea, right? I just love that it's leaving these little comment threads along the video timeline to see where students are picking out those moments. It's just really interesting to me. And even as I'm playing it, these little comments pop up in the corner like that. Okay, so let me go to the next piece. Thank you all for participating in that.
Mr. Garcia, is there any way like to embed the video and have the video stop at a specific point and give the students time to type in their discussions, or does it play all the way through?
It'll play all the way through, but as soon as they start typing a comment, it'll pause the video. Like, you know, yeah, okay. I hope that answers your question. So this one I did a little bit different. So let's take a look at this.
Hey everybody, this is Mr. Gonzalez, and today our lesson is all about fear and anxiety, the differences between the two. And in the video we just watched, we learned about how fear and anxiety are actually adaptive traits. And what this means is that these are traits that humans have learned, behaviors that we have learned in order to help us better survive. Now there is a difference between fear and anxiety according to the video. Fear is a more immediate threat, whereas anxiety is a long-term threat. So here's question number one about that.
So in this example, I'm using a video that I recorded, I built out a little, a Google slide presentation. I used a screen recorder to capture that screen, but also to pop me in the corner like that. Then in Canvas, you can pinpoint specific places where you want to ask questions. So I have a question at this: which of the following situations would you classify as anxiety? Now, I don't know if this is a good question or not, because our students may feel anxiety and fear in a different way than what I was anticipating. But what I was hoping is that my students, based on the video that we watched, that they would see that something that's more of a long-term threat is anxiety. So if spider is on your hand, that's like an immediate threat. If you're in the actions of being robbed, that's an immediate threat. Riding a roller coaster is an immediate threat. But something happening next week, so is more, something could be classified as anxiety, right? So this is just another example here of how I could use Canvas Studio.
One of the other things that was mentioned in the video is that there's a specific part of the brain located right about here. And this specific part of the brain is what is responsible for responding to fear and creating those physical changes that we feel when we go through fear and anxiety. Question number 2.
Ernest, how long did it take you to make that?
I would say, like from beginning to end on everything in here.
Mm-hmm.
I would say realistically about 30 minutes to 45 minutes.
Okay, because as you're playing this and talking, what's coming to my mind, I see the benefits of this, and I can see this be raising the bar, giving more rigor. But I know when we introduce to new things, it takes longer for us to work through the kinks and understand the gist of it. How is that going to fit that much time when teachers have a lot of content areas, different principals require different things in lesson plans? So how, that would be my concern about this.
Yes. Now, I think that I could have made this in a quicker way if I didn't make the Google Slides to go along with it.
Okay.
Right? Like that's a one time saver that I could cut out, was like, could I have just record my webcam of me talking and asking the questions? Absolutely. But I wanted to show you how I could have something playing in the background for them to look at also. Because what I imagine with this is that you already have your Google Slide lessons. A lot of those, you have that material already, right? You have that. To me, that's what took the longest, was making my Google Slides, like putting all that stuff in there. But recording the video is real quick. And the other thing you can keep in mind is I could have imported a YouTube video instead of making my own video. The key here is being able to just add questions right into a video, whether I created it or whether I borrowed it from somewhere. But I'm going to show you how to do both of those things.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Gonzalez, question before we move forward?
No,
just one thing.
Here.
Sure. Go for it.
Okay, so I noticed, thank you. So I noticed that you were at 3 different places. You were at the discussions part on the menu, discussions, and then you went to a page, and then you went to assignments. Or are you purposely just showing 3 different ways to do this lesson, or are all those different places where students need to go to get to complete the lesson?
Good question. Thank you for asking that. So what I was hoping to achieve with this was that I wanted to see how I can create an online version of what I might do in the classroom if I was trying to teach this. I would want to try to engage my students at the beginning of the lesson with some kind of hook, right? Like, ask them a question that really engages them into what we're about to learn. So the first thing that I showed you was, let me go back a second.
Yeah.
Sorry. This was the first component.
I understand.
Go ahead.
It was on. No, I understand your flow, and it makes perfectly sense. But what I've been doing, I guess I'm trying to ask if what I've been doing is putting it all in one place.
Ah, okay. I got you.
So instead of having the kids go to different places, I just put it all in on the assignment. So because I don't know if that's right or wrong. I don't know. That's just what I've been doing.
I'm going to show you something in just a moment that I think you may like. But yes,
Okay.
it was important for me to do these into different types of activities because one was a discussion, one was an assignment, and one was, I forget what the second one was. But I had to have different pieces because there were different things that the student had to do. One was a discussion, so it had to work in that element in Canvas where they could chat with each other, right? One was a page because I just wanted to have the video there where they leave their comments along the way. And then the third one was an assignment because that's how you have to set it up to have a video quiz. It has to be assignment. It's a little bit counterintuitive, but. And then let me show you this fourth piece. So in this fourth piece, what I really wanted, excuse me, what I really wanted was an opportunity for students to have some choice with the activity. So I'm bringing in a little bit of student choice, and I'm bringing in a little bit of communication. So let me show you this video.
It's time to push our thinking. Down below, I've posted 3 different topics. The first thing you want to do is watch all 3. After you've decided which one you want to explore more, you may need to go research, you may need to go read an article, you may need to come up with a new idea. Click reply to that topic and record a video telling us what you learned or your ideas for that topic. Be sure to always respond using appropriate digital citizenship, and also go watch your classmates' videos as well, and feel free to give them some constructive feedback.
Okay. So what I did is I used the discussion feature of Canvas, and I went down below as the teacher and I clicked reply 3 times to create topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. Topic 1.
In this lesson, we learned the amygdala part of the brain controls fear and our reaction to it. So if you choose this topic, what I'd like you to do is go out and research a different part of the brain and teach us a 60-second lesson about how it affects us.
Okay. So if you choose that, you're going to go out and research a little bit and then come back. Students would click reply, and that's where they leave their 60-second lesson. Option 2.
Everyone knows dogs have a really great sense of smell. But can dogs smell fear? That's the question you'll be exploring if you choose this topic. There's an article posted on Wonderopolis that I will link below. Read the article and then come back and teach us what you learned.
So this one, the instructions, the link, they click this, it takes them directly to that Wonderopolis article, which I love this website. It's no sign in to get here. You can listen to it being read aloud. It always starts off with some awesome questions. It has the vocabulary built into it that highlights it. The wonder words is what they call them. There's little quizzes to test your knowledge. And then if students want to actually go try out and experiment with what the topic's about, it has ideas for that. So I love Wonderopolis. But anyway, students would read this and come back and share out what they've learned. And then this last one is related to the lesson. If you watch that full video from earlier, you'll see. But yeah, I was thinking about like a little choice board here, students being able to go ahead and select which one seemed most interesting and then respond to that. Okay.
Question?
Yes, go for it.
So in using this platform and creating videos, is it for the teacher to have these videos in their Canvas? Or if I was creating videos and wanted to share them with teachers, is that possible?
Yes, you could do that too. You can, either way. What you make, you can share out. Mm-hmm. Mhm. I added in a little piece yesterday, which would be just my reflection. So I decided to call this a vlog reflection. I put the directions, I put my language support, I put my tech support here, but this is just an opportunity for the students to, I gave them a role. You remember Raft, like the whole role, audience, format, topic type of writing response? I wanted to create like a Canvas version of that where the role that I want my students to play is a YouTube blogger, and they have a channel that focuses on health. Their audience is mostly young adults, and in their video, I want them to explain the causes of fear, talk about the differences between fear and anxiety, and then give some tips for what would be their strategies for better mental health, right? Like share that with other people. So I gave them either a text box or a file upload way to turn those things in. All right. What I'd like to do is pause there, and I'd like to get some feedback from you or questions. As you remember, I was hoping that you'll take a couple notes about what you liked and maybe what you might have a question about, or things I could have done better. Let me open up the chat here and see what's going on in there too. Yeah, somebody was talking. It was Sonia. Y'all know Sonia. So yeah, she was talking while I was recording. I would have to find my own classroom to be able to do that. Can I create lessons for y'all? You can have this lesson. I wish I could make lessons. We can collaborate. If that's something y'all want to ever collaborate on, like y'all let me know. We're opening up office hours next week, every day, except for Tuesday. So I see, how would I share my Canvas videos with teachers in creating lessons for my students? We'll get to that, yeah. A live demonstration would be helpful. I think you mean like how to make some of this stuff, right? Because that's the next step, Ms. Martinez. Is this lesson in Commons? I actually put this module into the Commons, yes, I did. And there's a link to it inside of the presentation. This link right here to download that module. How does the vlog feature look like from the student's view? Oh, it's just using either the rich content editor to record video. Students can also use Canvas Studio as well. We're going to talk about that in a little bit as well. They can use the studio just like we can and record their videos. Or they can, y'all can, eventually we start getting to the point where they're using their iPads to make really cool videos. That'll be awesome. But there's a lot of ways that could happen.
Ernest, this just popped in my head while you was doing this.
Okay.
It kind of indicating to me that teachers are being pushed to maybe think more of on a collegiate level when teaching students as far as rigorous thinking. It's like I remember some of this that you're doing was, I had a college professor that kind of approached teaching certain content matters in this kind of format as far as discussion, page, assignments. It just wasn't video, it wasn't in the Canvas format, but the form of thinking was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does this make, so are we being prepped to go as far in our thinking when we are teaching also too? Am I making sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think what I'm hearing is you're talking more about what I'm asking students to think about during the lesson.
Yes. Yes.
So I was definitely thinking a lot about, when I made this, I was thinking about how do I bring in opportunities to have students make a choice, for students to be able to talk to one another about the content, and to apply what they learned from like a direct teach in a way where they get to make something and give some opportunities to reflect.
Yes.
I think that in my opinion, I think that those are good 21st century skills that we should aspire to, whether we're building online or whether we're working face to face. But I'd like to hear what other teachers think too. Y'all know we have one of the top 3 Texas teachers in here right now. She's being shy,
What?
hasn't shared. Yeah, no, she shared in the chat. I'm sorry to call you out like that, but your expertise is, if you want to share what you think about this. Give me some feedback, Ms. Abuntis. Tell me what you would do differently.
Well, can I just say what I've tried to do?
Yeah, of course.
So
I've tried to use a collaboration tool from Canvas, and it's so that they can you know, share a document, like the actual collaboration tab or whatever we want to call it, the feature. And I thought I had because I teach 6th grade, so there's like 85 kids. So I try to design it in such a way that they can only collaborate within their period. And so I thought for whatever, I don't know why it didn't work, but when I let them go to go do their work, they were collaborating with the whole group, with everyone. And so I don't know if I did something wrong or if it's Canvas that didn't recognize my choices. I don't know, but I'm just learning. And so I told the kids not to worry about it. I wasn't going to grade them. It was just a practice because I'm learning this new, you know, this new tab. And so we're trying to do a collaboration page together. And I tried to separate it by period, and it didn't really work out. So I was wondering if anybody had experience using the collaboration tool on Canvas.
Well, I think you have the right attitude. Let me start with that because like I said earlier, all of this is new. So we're going to be, all of this is trial and error. We have to just go through the learning pains of this. And I haven't really played too much with the collaboration tool. I did use it for the first time this past week. And it looked like what I had to do was set up my groups first. In Canvas, you can set up groups, and then you can say, this group is going to collaborate, this group's going to collaborate, this group's going to collaborate. Let's explore that more. That's its own training right there, for sure. We need to learn more about that. It looks like it has a lot of potential. I like it, because just from within Canvas, you can go to collaborate, and if the teacher set it up, all of y'all are in the same space working on a project. But it could be whole class or it can be groups. So let's come back to that. Don't give up.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So I do want to get into, I see some of y'all's comments there. I am taking a look at them. I want to
Can I share while you read over the comments?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. So, hey everybody, my name is Adriana. I appreciate the call out. Ernest, Mr. Gonzalez and I are good friends, so I take it as just him making me better. So thank you, homie. I appreciate that. Just initial thoughts, right? Initial ideas. I really like where you're headed with the lesson. I like that it's a very obvious focus on social, emotional, and culturally relevant pedagogy. I feel like you're really taking our kids to the next level in understanding how their body and their mind works. So why not push it deeper? I feel like you're there, but we can keep going, especially, you know, as we're living in intersecting pandemics. Why not talk about trauma here and its relation to being able to do your coursework right now, so that students can develop agency, as we used earlier, right? Make their own decisions, make their own destiny, and start emailing teachers, you know, and being real with them. Hey, I can't do this because of this, and there's scientific reasoning behind my inability, right? Or not my inability, but maybe my postponement of a certain task. So I like that. I really like the fact that you're recording the directions. I think at the onset, it was something that I wanted to do, but kind of saw it as an extra thing, an extra element to add to my lessons. But I'll be very honest, I'm learning about online instruction as well with us all. I find myself repeating the directions during my actual online synchronous Zoom class. whether kids are joining in late, or I just want to make sure, they know exactly what the task is. So I like that. I like that it saves all of us time. One thing that I want to add when it comes to like the reality of us being in the classroom. So I teach at Lanier High School there with Miss Joanne Perez here, our wonderful department chair, teach algebra. And I tried to mimic my class cycle as best as I could on Canvas, meaning warm up, guided practice, independent practice, and exit ticket. And I'm finding that my submission, or rather the submissions, are not there. Right? And it's not because students aren't attempting it. I see them online, I see them trying, but they're not submitting assignments. And I think back about your article that you just came out with that I read that I think is fantastic and everyone should read. And this idea that Joanna and I were talking about, making it simple, right? So we've talked about at Lanier to consolidating these 4 items into perhaps 1 or 2 pages or assignments in the modules. So I like this, but I'm still thinking, how can we make it even more simple? How can we make it 2 items underneath this module as opposed to, 6, right? And, we're guessing and checking and we're still in try and error. But right now, the way that the area that we're headed towards is simplifying and really minimizing how many things the kids are seeing under that module tab.
You know what?
So,
that was like the perfect segue.
Okay.
And I appreciate all of that. That's such an insightful feedback to what we're doing right now. And I really do think that's helpful. Perfect segue, because I wanted to show you one other way that I would think about presenting this information to my students. And so this final link that I put in here is what this may look like in a Hyperdoc format. Okay, so if you haven't heard Hyperdoc before, it's some kind of idea that came up in working with Google stuff. As a way to take all of the elements of a lesson that we love and makes it interactive and put it all into one kind of page. So this is that format. Let me show you what this looks like. So to begin with, I included my learning objectives, the instructional resources the students may need, the academic support that they may need, a tutorial showing them how to use Immersive Reader. I included a text support because in this lesson, they're going to be recording video with the rich content editor. So there's my link directly to that student guide. I have a section called Engage, which is the I Wonder, that opens up the discussion, the engage part of the lesson. I have my Explore that goes to the Wow and What activity. I have the Extend and Explain, the Choose Your Own Learning Adventure, where the students watch the 3 videos and then they're able to pick which one of those to respond to. I have the Knowledge Check, which was the video quiz. And then I have my vlog activity down here. So it's just taking the model of a Hyperdoc format and building it out all into a page, which is going to give me the Immersive Reader. Because Immersive Reader is only shows up in Canvas on anything that's a page, right? It can't be an assignment, it can't be a quiz. The bonus that I will tell you is that if students are using a laptop, they can always highlight something, right-click, and say, help me read this. Even if it's on an assignment or a quiz, because we have an extension called Use Immersive Reader.
Have you ever wondered why we fear things? In this lesson, we will explore where fear comes from. And
if that doesn't make sense, what is fear? I click that, there's a picture, and there's my
el miedo.
Okay, right? I love that tool. So that's a little something we can do that's going to help build a little bit more. I can take charge of my learning. If I need help reading this, translating this, I got it. And all of it's laid out into one page. These still link out to those individual pieces, right? But the bonus is that if I wanted to, which I totally would, instead of having, let's see. There we go. Instead of having this, 3, 5 things, I just put that there into the module. That's it. Okay.
Does Immersive Reader work on the assignments? Like when the kids go to the assignments, does it come up, or do I have to select that?
The Immersive Reader button that y'all saw, it only shows
Yes.
anything that's a page like this. So a assignment, a discussion, a quiz, those types of things, you're not going to see the button there. But for Chromebooks and laptops, we pushed out this extension here. And basically on any web page that you're on, no matter what it is, you can highlight text, right click it and say, help me read this, and Immersive Reader is going to come up.
What is that again? I'm sorry. I didn't catch that. What is that little link?
It's called Use Immersive Reader. So
Okay.
any web page you have, as long as you see text, you're going to be able to highlight it, right click, and say, help me read this.
So if I want, so I have to do that for every lesson? If
No.
I want to include that?
No, this is already installed on all of our students' computers. It's already ready to go. No one has to add it. It's already been added. Make sense?
So if the students see it, they can use it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if it should already be here. Like all the kids, a lot of them have Chromebooks. So when they sign into a Chromebook, it automatically logs in all these tools for them to use. Well, not all of them, but you know, the district ones that are pushed out. It'll be there. But if you're worried about whether they can do that, again, as long as you're building out a lot of your information, like in this one, there's a lot of text here, but I built it on a page so that I would have this button here. In Canvas, the pages have this. It just won't be there on assignments and quizzes. But for all other pages on the internet out there, everything, even the Canvas assignments and quizzes, you still have that Use Immersive Reader tool that lets you highlight and translate or read it all. And the translation sounds good. It sounds better than me trying to speak Spanish because I am terrible. I never practice. Y'all are gonna have to force me to practice, y'all, if y'all see me. But look, I can click document, and I'm telling you, Immersive Reader sounds better than my Spanish.
Si necesita ayuda con la lectura o traducción de esta página, por favor vea este tutorial.
Not only that, I mean, I just feel like if you're including in resources for parents and they don't speak English, they speak whatever language, we really need to show everybody how to do this because you have a lot of languages in there to choose from. We don't have just Spanish speakers.
I think the district has like 33 languages within the district.
Yeah, I know there's some Pashto, I think, some families
Mhm.
Pashto.
Mhm.
Let's see if there's any other questions right now, but what I'd like to do is kind of switch back into Studio so I can give y'all some tech skills, because how do we use it? I feel like it's a good pivot point here. Sound okay? Let me get back into the presentation here. Okay. So the first thing we're going to look at is just how we can record in Studio and what it might look like to make a little hook. Okay, so starting on slide 13, I'm showing you the step-by-step of how to do this inside of Canvas. And so I'm going to model it, and then I'll give you some time to go practice it. So make sure your eyes are inside of the Zoom window. Okay, so on the left-hand side over here, I have the Studio button just below Commons, right? So I'm going to click that. When I click this, it's going to take me to my page that just shows me all of my videos that I've imported or recorded. Imported or recorded. I'm rapping here today. Okay, so I have a YouTube video, and then I have a couple of other things. Notice that this one is actually called a collection. So I can click into it, and then I see multiple items inside of there. So if you're the type A type of person that likes to be real organized and build folders and things like that, you have your plus collection button here. So I'm going to build one now, right? Let's label it practice, because that's what we're doing today. We're practicing. So I built a collection called practice, and it took me straight into it. Okay? what I'd like to do is set the timer right now and give you just a quick little 2 minutes. Hopefully that's enough time. If not, I'll add in more time. It's no worries. But you're going to go to Canvas. You're going to click Studio.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. That's a lot of time.
Okay, 4.
I'm gonna do 3 because you may not have Canvas signed in just yet.
Okay. Okay.
So get to Canvas, click on Studio, and then just make a collection real quick so we can play around inside that collection. That's all. I'm gonna start it now. Y'all let me know if y'all have questions.
Okay, so when it says nothing here yet, I need to go to YouTube or somewhere?
Well, our first step really was just to create a collection. Yeah, so nothing is there yet. We haven't recorded anything. We haven't imported anything. But you should be able to make a collection. Can you do that?
Say it again.
You can make a collection though, yeah?
Yeah, I got what you got, just I have nothing there.
No, me too. The collection I just made has nothing in it, so I'm right there with you. Perfect.
Okay, all right. Okay, good.
Do we click create or we just wait? Create.
I was hoping that you would, the 2 minutes was just to make a collection, just and make the folder, I should say, right? Just.
Okay, all right.
If you want to play around,
Okay.
feel free.
I
You're
did
not
it.
going to break anything. Are we all good? Because I didn't think it would take too long. Are we good?
No, I did it. I'm good. I'm the one that wanted 5 minutes, but I did it.
It took you 1 minute. All right.
Oh, wow.
So let's come
Okay.
back into the Zoom window. Eyes back in the Zoom window. I'm going to close out the chat just so I have more room to see what I'm doing. On the next screen, okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try recording a little webcam video. Just keep it really simple, right? I love what Ms. Bundis was saying about keep it simple because we're going to be able to get creative with the tools that we have inside of Canvas without trying to think about adding in all these other things, right? So we're going to record with the webcam, and then this could be something that we use as part of a hook or maybe just some simple directions, however you want to incorporate that, right? So what does this look like? I have record and I have add, right? So we're going to record something, and look what I can do. Screen capture or webcam capture. I will let you know that screen capture is going to ask you to install something, and I've already asked the district to approve it, and it's been a couple weeks, so hopefully that's going to happen soon, and I think it'll be automatically installed on all of y'all's devices. So let's pause on screen capturing for now. Let's start with webcam. So look, let's do webcam. I'm going to model it for you, and then you try it out. Here we go. So I click start. Students, today we're going to be talking about how to make the best pico de gallo. Okay, that's our goal for today. We're in cooking class, and we're going to talk about ingredients first. So take a look down below for those directions. All right, I just have to speak with what's in front of me. I looked around and I saw some cabbage, some limes, some onions. All right. So I can name it here. I may not worry about that too much just yet, but I'm gonna click save. And it is uploading. Okay. I think I'm gonna, well, yeah, I'll just wait a few seconds. It looks like it's happening quick, so this is good. Okay. All right, so now I'm just gonna give you a sneak peek of what's in here, the 3 dots. If you've taken a class with me before, you know you always click on 3 dots. You gotta open that door and see what's in there. I see create quiz, I see share. Somebody was asking about how do I share this out with other people. Move to, replace, thumbnail, because maybe I look like a dork in this picture and I need to have a better picture here. I look kind of silly. Or then delete. But for now, let's click on view. View. Yes.
Well, I was just gonna say, can you move it to a lesson, like to an assignment page?
Oh yeah, we will do that in just a bit. Right now, we're just recording
Okay.
and adding it into our little library, right? So look, I see some
Okay.
details. I can edit. That title's not very good. Comments. No comments yet. Insights. Who has watched this video? Captions. Look at captions. Our technology can listen for words in your video and create 85% accurate captions. All right, all right. Let's just say this is English and click request. So I started their request. It's going to automatically generate English captions. I wish Canvas had a way to automatically generate other languages. That's like a wish I wish they could do. Right now, I've looked at what it looks like to upload some other captions, but it's kind of tricky. It's not an easy just type in and add. But I will share a little idea that I have after the break, because what I want y'all to do right now is go into Canvas and practice this. So let's back it up and see it one more time. Just I'll go through the steps. You're inside of your collection. You're going to press record. You're going to select webcam. And I'd like for you to just record a quick intro for maybe one of your older lessons. Maybe something that happened last week. If you know that students haven't gone in to complete some of those activities, then it might be nice to add those directions so that they can go back and revisit some of that stuff. Because that's one fantastic thing about Canvas. We can go see everything from the whole year. And y'all, just think about what school's gonna be like next year. Gosh, once you have all of this stuff built, you're just tweaking stuff. Man, it's gonna be, I'm hoping, this first year, to me, it's like the first child. The first child you have, you're like, oh my God, this precious baby. And then you have the second one and you're like, this is making a little bit more sense to me. Manhandling the baby, right? Not really. Take care of all children. All right, so let's break here. I will give you maybe a little bit more time. Let's try, I don't want this to be a complicated, crazy video. Let's shoot
You can delete this later on, right?
Yes, look, your 3-dot menu, delete media.
Okay.
Nobody will see it. You maybe go into your sandbox.
Ernest, I have a question.
Yes.
If you do a video in English and Spanish, can you do caption for both languages in the same video?
Oh, in the same video, maybe not. But you know what? If you speak it in Spanish and say, request it in Spanish, maybe that brings it in. But I don't know. That's a creative idea. I like where you're going. Let's talk about that in a second.
Because when I record videos for my students, I say it in English first and then I switch to Spanish, but I don't create 2 separate videos. I just do one 5-minute video with both languages.
Let's test it out. I have a prediction what I think is going to happen, but I can't say for sure. But I'm going to set the timer now. That way y'all can go do this because we're getting close to 11. I really like what you're thinking though. So go into Canvas and try recording from your webcam real quick, and then just let me know what other kinds of questions y'all have so far. If your webcam's not working while you have Zoom running, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Is that a problem that a lot of us are having?
Yeah.
Stop your video.
Yeah. Okay.
You should be able to stop video and then it'll switch to the other app.
Okay, let's give that a shot.
Mr. Gonzalez, I only have sound. Is it supposed to be my face as well, right?
It could be a Zoom thing.
Oh, I see. Because I can only record my voice.
Yeah,
I think
when I turned my camera off, it worked.
over the
What?
If you can turn your camera off in Zoom, then try it. See what happens. If
Oh, okay.
give it
I
a,
got you.
might be that.
Okay.
So when we're recording, you really need to be able to pick up. I'm doing it on another computer. Got two computers open. So it reminds, the recording reminds me of the Zoom recording when you're recording during your Zoom.
But it's working, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Perfect. Perfect. Your captions show different languages? Like, it translates? Uh, 45 more seconds, y'all. Be right back. I'm gonna grab some water real quick. Okay. Was everybody successful in recording a video?
Yes.
yes.
So remember, you want to click record, not add. Record is to let us
Got it.
record our screen or to record our webcam. And by the way, once we get the whole recording the screen going, it'll let you turn on, record the screen and the webcam at the same time if you want. Pretty awesome. Okay. I see a lot of yeses in the chat, so I'm going to assume everybody else is good to go.
I was able to do the screen capture video just now.
Oh, good, good, good.
Yeah.
Are you on a district device?
I'm not. So I mean, yeah.
You are the admin of that device. If you know, try it out later. I don't know if you're going to be able to install it on a district device or not. Maybe you might be able to. I don't know. I wasn't really planning on showing that part today, just because I wasn't sure if that part wasn't fully approved yet. Okay, so slide 15. Eyes back in the Zoom window. Slide 15 is where I'm just showing you how to go in and add those captions. So here's my idea. Here's my idea, what I was thinking about with these captions here. If I had a student that was visually impaired, then I would most likely want to use these English captions here, right? Like, it looks like it's finished, and I can click here and it says review and publish. Okay. Students, today we're going to be talking about how to make the best. Ooh, it doesn't know how to say pico. The best pico. All right. So there is a couple little things. It said 85% close, and to be fair, that was not an English word. But this is where I can just go ahead and say publish if it looks good. And now when my students watch this, they're going to be able to turn those captions on and have the text show up. So here's my other idea, what I was thinking. because one of y'all was saying you could get other types of captions there, which is awesome. You'll have to show me that. And this upload is kind of weird. Let me try to figure out this better, how this can work. But what I was thinking about captions was if I had, like most of you, probably 20% English learners, what I might do is just change this out for Spanish, right? Just put my Spanish here. And it might be a little bit confusing to some of my students, but I would just make sure that those students that need that language support know that they can press captions, and then they would see the Spanish popping up. That's my only idea at this point, to like, as a workaround, to just put in that Spanish right here. If y'all come up with a good one, y'all have to let me know. But that's what I'm thinking.
Ernest, the numbers on the side, is that on the video itself, like 3 seconds in, 8 seconds in, 10 seconds in? Is that what that means?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Gonzalez, I was the one who said when I tried to open my captions, it asked me what language I had spoken in.
Oh, right, yeah. Did you speak English or Spanish?
I spoke English, but it has like Arabic and all that. And then it says, then what do you want to what you want your captions in? So it gives me an option where I think if I spoke in Spanish, it would give me the Spanish captions.
Oh, right, yes, yes. Yep. Which,
in Arabic, it would give me the Arabic captions.
let's play with it some more. Maybe there's a way for us to get this to work, but now I'm really curious about testing this out. But for now, what we do have a webcam video that we've added captions to. So what's our next step? Let's take a look. Slide 16 is, how do I put this into a module? Okay, so let me show you all of that. Let me go into one of my courses. All right. Bear with me here as it's kind of going slow. The whole, okay, so I'm going into my module. We'll get there. There we go. Let's just add it to the top of this one, since this one's got a whole bunch of stuff in there. So I'll start off real simple with a page, because it could go in anything, right? For now, let's just do a page. You know what? Let's get more creative. Let's do it in a discussion. I want my students to watch the video and then talk about it. So new topic. This one's going to be called Delete Me, so I know to take it out later. Okay. So I'm going into my discussion that I created. And I click Edit, because you want to get to the rich content editor. Anytime the rich content editor comes up, you can bring in one of those studio videos. So the key is going to be to press the plug. Press the plug. You're going to say Canvas Studio, and it comes up here. So there's my practice one. There. And look where it says, do I want to allow comments? Yes or no? That goes back into that example of where I use the what and wow strategy. And I want my students to comment along the timeline of the video. That's where that comes in. Okay? So embed. Done. There's my captions. There is where students can comment, and it leaves the little dots along the timeline. Now, just for next time, I do want you to see this. I don't know if you'll notice this, but when I select Canvas, it even came up with the ability for me to record right here.
Oh, wow.
That's a time saver, right?
Yeah.
Or add.
Yep.
Next time I'll teach you.
Add.
You have to remind me. This is, yeah. Record and add straight from right.
Sir, on this part,
Is
how
the,
exactly?
I'm
I
sorry,
wanted.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Just real quick, when you want to add a video straight from YouTube to a discussion or to an assignment page through the studio, is it the same process? Other than us creating a YouTube video?
Let's, I love your question. I'm going to show that next. So I think what I'd like to do is give you all time to practice inserting your video into one of your pieces. But I know there was somebody else going to ask a question too. I'd like to hear that question before I break for that little 2-minute, 3-minute break.
I wanted to ask her, like this video, okay, everything's set up. I understand that part. Let's just say that you wanted to add something right here where it says, go ahead and follow the directions below. How could you add that here? Or this is not the part where you add that?
Are you talking about just typing in some directions?
Yes.
Yeah, you can still type in all of that stuff.
Okay, that's what I need to understand. Thank you, sir.
Uh-huh, you got it.
All right.
Okay, so this all looks pretty good. Allow threaded replies, grading, allow liking, add to student do. This is all stuff you can take a look at and figure out, I'm pretty sure. What I'm gonna do is give you, again, another, let's keep it a little bit shorter to make sure that we have enough time. I'm gonna click play. When I click play, you go ahead and try to add it in, the one that you recorded, add it into something, a discussion, a page, an assignment, however you wanna add it in, pick one, an announcement. All right, go for it.
You're getting one with 4 boxes on it. Okay. Clicking record button on the Canvas Studio in the discussion page is a shortcut.
You record in the disc as you add it right there. Yeah, you're right. I agree.
No, what did she say?
Click and record in the Canvas is a shortcut.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't take my mute button off, but I went ahead and recorded right away in the discussion and it put it right there for me.
Perfect.
Sorry, let me turn my mute off.
Couple more seconds. Okay, the timer dinged. Go ahead and return your eyes back into the Zoom window. All right. So here's where I'm at now. I am going to attempt to bring in a YouTube video, because that was kind of like the next step we were thinking, right? So of course, you know, I had to think of something right away, and the first thing I thought of is Lonnie Walker dunking. So that's what I'm going to add in, because I'm recording today's and I'm going to be able to share this out with other teachers so they can watch it, and they should learn a little bit about Lonnie Walker also when they go through this tutorial. But the key thing here is that I'm going to grab the share. I've noticed that these work a little bit better inside of some of the things that we do, so I'm just going to grab that link. I think this one should be fine as well. But I'm grabbing the link to YouTube, and notice what I did. I went to my assignment this time. I wasn't even sure if this was going to work or not, but I went to the assignment and I'm pressing the plug, going to Canvas. And so for this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can just say add right here. But I need to go into my collection here. Okay, so add. This is where I can import my file if I made something somewhere else, or YouTube. Put my link, add. There's Lonnie. Select. Allow comments, embed, boom. So now we have some commenting happening on a YouTube video. I still have my insights to see who watched it. I can still see all of those things. Looks like I can, it looks like I might be able to still caption it. I haven't played with that yet, but that's pretty interesting. Do you want to practice that, or do you want me to keep going? Because we have about 9 minutes left and I haven't showed you how to make a quiz out of one of these. So I think we have to kind of pick and choose where we go from here. Do you want to
continue so we can learn how to make a quiz?
Okay, let's do the quiz.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to Commons. Okay, I think from here, I think you do have to utilize Commons to make, why am I going to Commons? Forgive me. I meant to say Studio. I have to go into the Studio to make my quiz. So I'm going to do that. All right. And I'm going to ask a question about my Lonnie Walker video. So I've gone into the collection. I found my YouTube video. I click the menu, and I have the option to say Create Quiz. If I'm going really fast, just try to take notes or know that it's in the Google Slides step by step. It's there. Okay. There's also a Canvas Studio guide inside of Canvas with all of this information. So I'm going to create the quiz.
Under Commons, is it under your name, sir?
No, I meant to say Studio. I apologize. When I said...
No, but for me to be able to pull this up again in Commons, is it under your name, or... You said that this...
You'd have to share the assignment into the Commons or share the video out. Let me get to that in a second.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I'm sorry. Lonnie Walker quiz. I can add a description. Do I want to hide the questions along the timeline? I don't think so. Maybe you can play around with that and decide what you like best. But I can click along the timeline. There's my plus sign. Wow. All right, so here's the plus sign. I am limited to only multiple choice, true or false, or multiple answer choices. This would be another wish for me, is to have an open-ended question added in. But I'll take what I can get right now. So let me do multiple choice. Can Lonnie dunk better than LeBron? Haha. Yes. No. Okay. So I have a couple of options right now. I'm saying yes is the correct answer. Before I take any heat from any Lakers fans, at least LeBron's still in the playoffs. Yes, I get it. Vary points by answer, shuffle choices, question feedback. Remember, we talked about how the importance of providing feedback to our students right away, throughout the lesson, at the end of the lesson, multiple times, right? For a correct answer, for an incorrect answer, provide general feedback, All of those things should be definitely incorporate those. I'm going to click save. So I've added in a question. I could add in more, but for time's sake, I'm going to say that's the only one I'm going to ask. So I click done. You can see that there's a little rocket there. Okay. Now it's time to figure out how to add this into a quiz. So let me just go to this section real quick. Again, I have my steps. There's how to create it. There's how to insert it into a video. Okay. Inserting a video quiz. You know what? I'm realizing those slides need to be updated. I'll go ahead and update that for sure. My apologies for that. Let me go into my module. And let me show you how I added in my quiz from earlier. Okay, so remember, this is the only thing that I feel that is a little bit counterintuitive, because the first time I tried to do this without looking up how to do it, I thought that I was going to go ahead, make a quiz inside of my module, and that is not the case. You want to make an assignment, okay? So look, here's my example from earlier, fear lesson quiz. And notice it's an assignment. So you would go in here, you would say make a new assignment. Let's try that now. New assignment, cool. Lonnie quiz. Let me go in there. Okay, so the rich content editor comes up. That's going to be the best place to lay out all of your directions. Remember, we talked about now having objectives listed. We talked about having language support, linguistic support. We talked about technical support, and always be sure to include those elements. On submission type, this is the key. You're going to say external tool, because in Canvas, that video quiz, they like to consider it an external tool. So you're going to click external tool, and you're going to say find, and you're going to select Canvas Studio. Okay, and this is how you can add in one of your quizzes that you've made. Click here. It says standard or video quiz embed. And you might have multiple quizzes attached to a video. So this is where you say, well, which exactly quiz do you want to, which one do you want to put in there? I only made one, so it sees the one that I made, and I'm going to embed that now. Select again. All your other settings you know about. I'm going to click save. And then the good thing about this option is, as your students take the quiz, it's going to take those grades and stick them right into the grade book automatically. No more having to do this inside of Google Forms. No more having to do this in Edpuzzle. It's just, I think it's going to be a time saver. Just, boop.
Mr. Gonzalez, just a question about the external tools. Can you go back to your tab on external tools?
Yeah.
Because I was trying to use external tools the other day, and I had limited access to external tools. So I called the tech department. How many external tools should we have when we click on our that right there? Like scroll down, you see how you have Actively Learn, Canvas Studio. Which other ones do you have? How many?
If you ever see a limited amount, just make sure you pull this window open bigger. Because I've noticed that on PC, there's a second scroll bar that goes missing if you don't pull that window open. And that's going to let you see all of it. We've had a couple.
That's what it was?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Thank you
Yeah, you got it.
so much. Oh my God, the tech department. But wow, I tell you, little things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Ernest, I have a question. Why do we have to insert it as an external tool? Why couldn't it be a plugin?
To get the for a quiz, to have the grades automatically pop up into the grade book, you have to use this external tool. Now I could have
Okay, so
embedded the video into with the plugin, but that would just be part of
yeah, it would just be a video itself. Okay, I got you.
Right. People are like, I'm out of here, bro. I don't understand. I mean, I do understand it.
No, it's just that there's another session at 11.
Oh, okay. See, I'm over here taking it personal.
Well, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gonzalez. It was very, very engaging. Thank you for having patience with our questions.
Yeah, thank y'all for
Yes, thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all take it easy.
Thank you. I learned a lot.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. I'm going to be upset about Edpuzzle, but because I use a lot of Edpuzzles. So thank you.
You got it.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. We're going to catch up later.
Yeah, okay.
Ernest, I had a question about does it, as far as like with the assessment on the video, kind of like Edpuzzle, does it prevent the students from continuing on or proceeding with the video until they've answered the question?
I don't think it does. Play with it and let me know what you, and maybe there's a way in the studio guide to look at that, but I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, and then one side note, I guess one side question. Do you know of any type of Chrome app that the kids could load onto their computers? Like for instance, let's say if it's live instruction, that will translate what is being said in one language to another?
Wait, can you stop? I'm